There were so many other things going on. I mean, apparently, according to the daughter, the mom's boyfriend would throw bottles. She would get like a spanking with a wooden spoon just for laughing. I mean, there were so many different things going on in that household.
And that leads us to Dr. Dow. How does a mom do this to her kids if the said charges did indeed happen? How does a parent get to a place? Is it pure insanity? Is this actually, what? I'm still trying to wrap my head around all the things I've read about what has happened in the family and how that could happen.
I know, it's truly horrific for most of us to actually understand it. I'm thinking from a mental health point of view, three things in terms of diagnosis and also prognosis. Is this actually somebody who is ever going to be able to care for these kids? The first option is antisocial personality disorder. These are the people who actually just look evil. They act evil. There's no remorse. They want power. They're going to be really difficult to treat. If that's the case, it's actually more nature than nurture. A lot of studies have shown that these people have either brain damage, low levels of serotonin. We can manage these people. It's not a disease that is actually curable. The second option is more nurture. There's a phenomenon in psychology we call reenactment. If this woman was treated the same way when she was a child, or if she in her adult relationships was horrifically abused and she is reenacting that and sort of turning the tables, that is something that I have treated a lot. And that can be successfully treated. In a lot of ways, she could be trying to finish her unfinished business in a very unhealthy way. And if that's the case, that has a good prognosis if she is willing to seek treatment. The third option is maybe a little bit of both. Maybe it's nature and nurture. I do hope that in any of those cases that this woman seeks treatment. And of course, the children are going to need treatment for that severe trauma that they have endured.
Oh my gosh, how does a child even heal from something like this?
Yeah, I've treated so many children who have dealt with some pretty severe neglect, abuse. And the good news here is that trauma is very treatable. It's not easy to treat. It's often long-term treatment. The emotional centers of our brain really store that, and there can be flashbacks. These children are really, they have trouble trusting, and you can see why. They act out behavioral problems. They tend to get a lot of GI problems, a lot of physical manifestations, but you can actually treat it.
Think of it, if you can't trust your own mother, instead of making a wholesome meal, she's feeding you this and letting you failed to thrive, that you would lose all your trust in everybody.
It's actually
if you can't trust your mother, who can you trust?
I mean, it's actually how our nervous systems learn to regulate themselves when you have a healthy attachment with your primary caretaker, right? So you can see why there's not only psychological disorders, but also physical ones.
And I think if you're watching this and you suspect maybe it's your neighbors, or if you see kids and you're noticing something like in this scenario, severe malnutrition, if you're better safe than sorry. If you need to call the Department of Children's Services and get a wellness check, you may uncover some scenarios like this. When in doubt, get it checked out. Lou, I want to thank you for your incredible insight on this case. Really appreciate your thoughts.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Lou.
And and this is an extreme case, but honestly, if you are watching this show and you abuse your child, know that there are so many people who would love an opportunity to love your child. So if motherhood or fatherhood or caring for a child is not for you, then let them be adopted. Let them be loved and cared for the way they deserve to be.
Well, and in this scenario, if these children had potentially been removed sooner from this dangerous household, the mother may have been able to get help sooner. The kids would be, yes, they would have been put in a place separate from the family for a temporary period of time, but a lot of the trauma that has since ensued, the jailing, so much of this could be avoided. And yes, it seems unfathomable